All right, so hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. We've got a really interesting one today, I think. We're looking at all this buzz around Bitcoin and quantum computers. Like, is it all going to come crashing down? This the end of Bitcoin as we know it. And thankfully, you sent over some really insightful research on this, so we can take a deep dive into this and see what's really going on. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll know whether you need to hit that sell button or not, or if Bitcoin really is going to be able to stand the test of time here.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic right now, and for good reason. Quantum computing is advancing so rapidly. It makes sense that people are wondering what that means for crypto, especially Bitcoin, which relies so heavily on cryptography.
Yeah, for sure. So before we jump into like the quantum stuff, let's just level set here. Like, how does Bitcoin security work right now? For people who may not be as familiar with it.
Okay, so think of it like a bike lock. You have your bike, which is your Bitcoin. You need a lock to keep it safe, right? This lock uses two keys. One is public. Anyone can use it to send you Bitcoin. The other is private. Only you have that one, and you need it to unlock or spend your Bitcoin.
Gotcha. So the public key is like the combination to lock the bike. And then the private key is what you need to unlock it.
Exactly. And the security of this whole system depends on how hard it is to pick that lock without the private key.
Yeah.
With regular computers, it's basically impossible. It would take an insane amount of time and computing power to crack the code.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. But then quantum computers come in and kind of change the game a little bit, right?
Yeah, they do. They're like having a special set of tools that make picking that lock a lot easier. And one of these tools is Shor's algorithm. And it could potentially break the type of encryption that Bitcoin uses.
Okay, so theoretically, someone with a powerful enough quantum computer and Shor's algorithm could figure out someone's private keys and just take their Bitcoin.
That's the theoretical concern, yeah. Yeah. But the important thing here is we're talking about a level of quantum computing power that is just not there yet.
Okay, so how powerful are we talking? Like, give me the numbers. How powerful would this quantum computer have to be?
Well, the research suggests you would need at least 1 million logical qubits to break Bitcoin's encryption. And to get to 1 million logical qubits, you'd probably need tens or even hundreds of millions of physical qubits because of all the complexities of how these computers work.
Wow. Okay, so that's a massive jump from where we are now. I mean, the most advanced quantum computers today, I think they're still only in the realm of thousands of physical qubits.
Right. It's a huge gap.
Yeah, so we're not talking about like a quantum doomsday scenario happening next week, but it's definitely something to be aware of and start preparing for.
Exactly. The field is moving so fast, what seems impossible today could be achievable a lot sooner than we think. And that's why the crypto community is already looking at ways to make Bitcoin quantum resistant.
Okay, yeah, so let's talk solutions.
Yeah.
What is this post-quantum cryptography I keep hearing about, and how could it help Bitcoin?
Think of it like designing new bike locks, ones that are specifically built to resist these quantum tools we've been talking about. These locks use different mechanisms that are believed to be much harder to crack, even with a quantum computer.
Okay, so instead of trying to make the existing locks stronger, they're coming up with completely new designs that are quantum proof.
Exactly. It's like upgrading from a basic padlock to like a high-tech lock with multiple layers of security.
Got it. So one of these new locks is something called CRYSTALS-Dilithium.
That's one of the promising candidates, yeah. It's based on a really complex math problem called a lattice problem. It's like a giant multi-dimensional maze that's incredibly difficult to solve, even for quantum computers.
So they're swapping out the simple bike lock for a maze that's basically impossible to navigate.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
But are there any other solutions that they're working on?
Yeah, there are a few other approaches being explored too. One is to change the way Bitcoin transactions are verified. And added to the blockchain. Right now, that process is called proof of work, and it's also vulnerable to quantum computers. So researchers are looking at quantum-resistant alternatives, like redesigning the entire vault instead of just changing the lock.
Wow, that's impressive. So you mentioned the blockchain there, and I know systems like the Lightning Network, which make Bitcoin transactions faster and cheaper. They rely on exchanging these keys securely, right? What's being done to protect that?
That's a key piece of the puzzle for sure. For key exchange, there's another lattice-based algorithm called CRYSTALS-Kyber that's showing a lot of promise. It's like having a secret language that only the two parties involved in the transaction can understand, even if someone is listening in.
Oh, that's really interesting. So it seems like there's a lot of research and development happening on a lot of different fronts to try and make sure that Bitcoin can survive in a world with quantum computers. That's got to be reassuring for people who are invested in Bitcoin.
It is. It really speaks to the strength of the Bitcoin community. They are actively working on these solutions, which is a great sign for the long-term health of this system.
Yeah, it's like having a team of engineers
Yeah.
constantly upgrading and reinforcing a building to make sure it can withstand any storm.
Exactly. It's that continuous improvement and adaptation that makes me optimistic about Bitcoin's ability to navigate these challenges.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the technical details here, but let's bring it back to the average person. What does all this mean for someone who's interested in Bitcoin? Or maybe already owns some?
The key takeaway is awareness. It's important to understand that while the quantum threat is real, it's not an immediate one. You don't need to panic and sell all your Bitcoin today.
Okay, so no need to run for the hills just yet.
Right. But it is crucial to stay informed and understand that the landscape is changing. The good news is that the Bitcoin community is very proactive and forward-thinking. They are taking steps to address these potential vulnerabilities. And that gives me confidence in the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
So it sounds like the key is to stay informed. Keep an eye on the developments in post-quantum cryptography, and trust that the system is evolving to meet these challenges head-on.
I think that's a great way to put it. And remember, the world of technology is constantly changing. What we know today might be different tomorrow. So staying curious and engaged is crucial.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, especially in the world of cryptocurrency, which moves so quickly. It's not just about understanding the technology itself, but also being aware of the broader context and how it's evolving.
I agree. And this whole conversation about quantum computing really highlights that dynamic nature of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space in general. It's an area where innovation is happening at an incredible pace.
So speaking of innovation, we've been focused on the potential threat of quantum computers. But is there a flip side to this? Could quantum computing actually be used to enhance Bitcoin in any way?
That's a really fascinating question, and one that deserves its own deep dive. While a lot of the attention is focused on the potential risks, there are also some exciting possibilities for how quantum computing to be used to make Bitcoin even better.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more about these potential benefits.
Well, one area where quantum computing could have a significant impact is in mining. Currently, mining relies on classical computers, which have limitations in terms of speed and efficiency.
Right. And it uses a lot of energy, too, which has been a concern for a lot of people.
Exactly. But quantum computers, with their ability to perform complex calculations at incredibly fast speeds, could potentially revolutionize the mining process, make it faster and more energy efficient.
So we could see a future where Bitcoin mining is not only faster, but also much more sustainable, thanks to quantum computing.
It could be a game changer. And beyond mining, quantum computing could also enhance the security and privacy of Bitcoin transactions themselves.
Oh, okay. How would that work?
Well, remember that quantum cryptography we talked about earlier? The one being used to develop those quantum-proof locks. It could also be used to create ultra-secure communication channels for Bitcoin transactions, making them virtually impossible to intercept or tamper with.
So instead of just strengthening the existing security, it's like creating an entirely new level of protection, using the very same technology that poses the threat.
It's like using the power of quantum mechanics to create a shield that's even stronger than the sword it's defending against.
That's a powerful image. It seems like quantum computing has this dual nature. It can be a double-edged sword, capable of both disrupting and enhancing Bitcoin in really profound ways.
It really does, and that's what makes this whole area so fascinating. It's this constant interplay between risk and opportunity, and it's impossible to predict exactly how it will all unfold.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier, and we don't know exactly what we'll find, but we know it's going to be incredible.
Exactly, and that sense of wonder and possibility is what keeps me so engaged in this field.
Yeah, I can definitely see why.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating area, with so much potential for disruption, but also for positive change.
Absolutely. It feels like we're at this pivotal moment in history where we're trying to figure out the balance between risk and reward with all these new technologies emerging.
It's that tension that drives progress, though, right? We're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and that's bound to lead to some unexpected outcomes.
I think that's a really healthy way to look at it. It's not about being afraid of the unknown, but embracing it as an opportunity to learn and grow as a society.
Exactly. And that's what I find so compelling about this whole conversation about Bitcoin and quantum computing. It's a reminder that we're not dealing with static systems, but with dynamic, evolving technologies
Yes.
that are constantly shaping and reshaping the world around us.
And reminding us that we need to be adaptable too and open to new ideas if we want to stay ahead of the curve. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways you'd like our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important one is that quantum computers are not an immediate threat to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yes, the technology has the potential to disrupt the way things work, but we're still a long way off from that becoming a reality. And the cryptocurrency community is well aware of the potential risks and is actively working on solutions to ensure Bitcoin's long-term security.
That's good to hear. It's like knowing that even though there might be storms on the horizon, the ship is being reinforced and the crew is prepared.
I like that analogy.
And beyond the immediate concerns, I think it's important to remember that quantum computing isn't just about threats, but also about opportunities.
Yeah.
We touched on some of those potential benefits, like faster and more efficient mining, enhanced security and privacy for transactions, and even the possibility of creating entirely new types of cryptocurrencies that leverage the unique properties of quantum mechanics.
Exactly. It's like we're at the beginning of a whole new chapter in the story of cryptocurrency. And quantum computing is playing a pivotal role.
For sure.
And while we can't predict the future with certainty, I think it's safe to say that the next few years are going to be incredibly exciting, filled with both challenges and opportunities as these technologies continue to evolve.
So stay curious, stay informed, and maybe even get a little bit excited about the possibilities that lie ahead.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the fascinating world of Bitcoin and quantum computing. Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery. We hope you've come away with a better understanding of the forces at play and a sense of cautious optimism about the future of cryptocurrency in a quantum world. Until next time, keep those minds engaged and those questions coming.